Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope all of you are doing great. This week we will learn chapter 8, and in this chapter we're gonna use the concept of contribution margin, and you will see how managers use the concept of contribution margin to take some short-term decisions. This type of decisions could be kind of whether they should take any special order from their customers, whether they should discontinue any product, or if they have any resource constraint, what should be the ideal product mix. So you can imagine a big multinational company, the company like Procter and Gamble or Unilever that actually produces like different type of products, and they sometimes may receive a special order from their customers. They need to take some pricing decisions. Sometimes they may find that one of their product is not making any profit, or they may have to take decision whether they need to outsource or buy some inputs, or whether they could produce those by themselves. So these type of decisions are really crucial, and the concept of contribution margin actually helps managers to take this type of short-term decisions. So we will see some examples. Sometimes a manufacturing company can receive some special order from their customer. Any of their customers could send some special order and can ask to manufacture any special product for them, and there could be some different or special pricing conditions. So now the idea is that whether you should receive this special order or not depends on whether this special order will help you to increase your operating income. Now, how you will take this decision? First, you have to consider whether you have that excess capacity to fulfill this order. If you see that yes, you have excess capacity, you have enough resources, then you should accept the special order. Otherwise, you should reject the special order. Once you check that you have enough resources, enough capacity to accept the special order, then you have to check what's the revenue that you're gonna receive from this special order, and what is the expected cost. And if you see that the revenue is higher than the cost, that means you will have a positive impact on your net income or operating income, then you should accept the order. But if you see that cost is higher than your revenue, that means that will reduce your income, then of course you should not accept the order. Once you see that your revenue is higher than the cost, that means you will have a positive impact on your net income, of course you should accept the special order. But at the same time, you need to check what's the long-term impact of that special order, whether because of this special order your regular sales will be affected or not. If you see that your regular sales will not be affected, then you are good. But if you see that there might be some negative impacts on your regular sales in the long run, then you should reject the order. Now let's see one example. It's from your textbook, Exhibit 8.6. So Agdelco sells oil filters, and the sales price per unit is $3.20. The variable manufacturing cost is $1.20. Now one mail order company has ordered Agdelco $35,000 for 20,000 oil filters. So it's a special order. This mail order company wants to pay $35,000 for 20,000 oil filters. So this is the total sales price or sales revenue, and if you divide it by number of units, you see that the sales price per oil filter turns out $1.75. It seems that the sales price is actually lower than their regular sales price, which is $3.20. Now, should the company accept the special order? Now you have to check whether the company has enough capacity, whether this order will impact on their other products or regular sales. And you have to check the revenue that the company will make is whether higher or lower than the potential cost. Now you can check it here by checking if this special order, or by producing and selling these special 20,000 oil filters, whether there should be any impact on their fixed cost. And the information says that the sales will not change any fixed cost, or it will not require any variable selling or administrative expense. That means the only cost involved here is their manufacturing cost, which is $0.20, and the selling price is $0.75. Now we could do a little calculation and we could calculate the contribution margin. That means for per unit their sales price is $0.75 and their variable expense is $0.20. That means contribution margin per oil filter from this special order is 55 cents. Now if you think of their entire amount of their products, which is 20,000 units, their total revenue will be $35,000. And if you subtract their total variable manufacturing cost, which is 24,000, how you will get that? You know, here it's given the variable manufacturing cost per unit is $0.20 and you are going to manufacture 20,000 oil filters. So if you multiply this to 20,000 times $0.20, you will get their variable manufacturing cost. And you found that the contribution margin is $11,000. And it is also mentioned that they will not have any additional fixed cost or any other selling or administrative expense. That means they will not incur any other expense because of this special order. So ultimately, by taking this special order, they can increase their operating income by 11,000. So that is why the company should accept the special order. If you see that from any special order or from any type of decision there will be a positive impact on their operating income, then the company should take that decision. So from this example, the company should accept that special order. Now we will see another example, and which is related to the product discontinuation. Here Agdelco company actually manufactures and produces two types of products. One is oil filters, another is air cleaner. And if you see the oil filter line, you see that they have a positive contribution margin and their operating income is also positive. But for air cleaners item, you will see that their contribution margin is $50,000, but their operating income is $15,000 negative. So apparently it seems that they should drop these air cleaner products. Right, because the product is making a loss, $15,000. But before taking any decision, you have to check whether the company would be able to eliminate these fixed expenses. If they could, then they can think of it. But if you think that they actually will not be able to eliminate any of these fixed expenses and they still have a positive contribution margin, then the company should continue that product. So the managers actually face different type of decisions, whether they need to discontinue any product or they have any resource constraint, or whether they need to make a product or they need to outsource or buy it from outside. So we will see another example. This is related to a product mix decision. So this company is selling two type of products. They are manufacturing and selling two type of clothing. One is shirts, another is jeans. And this is the information for per unit product. So you see here sales price, and if you subtract variable expenses, you call it contribution margin. So you see from a shirt, if they manufacture and sell a shirt, their contribution margin is $18. And if they do the same with the jeans, their contribution margin is $12. Now you learn the formula of contribution margin ratio. So contribution margin ratio is sales price divided by their contribution margin. Contribution margin ratio formula is contribution margin divided by the sales price, and it is just we are expressing contribution margin as a ratio of sales, and you find that shirts have 60% contribution margin, whereas jeans have 20% contribution margin. So apparently it seems that shirts are more profitable, right? Because they are making higher contribution margin if you assume that the fixed expenses are fixed, right? So you would be tempted to take the decision that we will produce and sell only shirts because we are making higher contribution margin from making and selling shirts, and we should stop making jeans. But now you should consider about the resource constraint. So one of the resource constraint the company has is the machine hours, and the company only has 2000 machine hours during a year. That means the company at best they can run the machine for 2000 hours. Now the company gives you a little more information. The information is that to produce 1 unit of product or to produce 1 shirt, the company needs actually 10 the company can produce 10 shirts by running machine for an hour. On the other hand, if the company runs the machine for 2 hours, the company can produce 20 jeans. That means by utilizing this constrained resource, which is their machine hours, the company can produce double amount of jeans. That means whatever the company's contribution margin is for per shirt and per jeans, if they use all of these machine hours only for 1 product, their contribution margin will be actually higher for producing jeans. Because you see, by using 1 machine hour, they can produce 10 shirts, but they can produce 20 jeans. That means for 1 machine hour, their contribution margin is $180 for a shirt, whereas the contribution margin is $240 for a jeans. Now, if you multiply their constrained resource, which is machine hours and which is 2000 hours, you will see that if the company only produces and sells shirts, then their total contribution margin at full capacity is $360,000. On the other hand, if the company only produces and sells jeans, so by selling only jeans and using all those machine hours, their contribution margin is $480,000. So it seems that by making and selling jeans, the company can make higher profit because the company actually needs less or half machine hours to produce 1 jeans. Now you see that how you can use the concept of contribution margin to make several decisions. So now we will practice couple of problems from chapter 8.